It's Wednesday, my dudes. Welcome in. SimWorld today, April 10th. Sliding onto the screen now is Siege. Sitting on the screen still is Marsh. Welcome in. Good morning, Siege. How are we this fine Wednesday morning?
Morning. Doing well. It's hump day. Just middle of the week. Here we are.
We're getting after. We got a big pod ahead. We've got head coach Brad Lee of Southeast Select joining us after a huge win last night over Philadelphia Elite on the road. Their second straight massive win, fourth overall. They've got a big night or matchup tonight. Game of the week. We'll get to him before that Beast of the East matchup, but we're gonna start in the association where plenty of activity goes around as we approach the final days of the regular season. Just 1 week left. We're going to start in Milwaukee. I will allow you guys a little bit of reprieve from the normal starting point, where the Bucks beat the Celtics. But despite that, Giannis Antetokounmpo leaves with what is termed a calf strain. Siege, a massive win, but also potentially massive implications now for the Bucks moving forward.
Yeah, I mean that's not good. Every other star player in the league takes some rest. Someone needs to start letting Giannis take some rest. As much as I hate that ideology, that's a big guy. He plays really hard. He goes to the paint aggressively hard. Nobody else, not nobody. Not a lot of players put themselves in a position to get hurt the way that Giannis does, the way that he just kind of goes to the rim with reckless abandon. Both a good thing and a bad thing in times like this. Great win though. Crazy that only 3 free throws were shot in the whole game, I believe. Especially with these two teams who have a history of playing each other, very tough, very physical. But yeah, big win for the Bucks, but not big enough to warrant Giannis going down for them. That's a big loss, depending on how long he'll be out.
Yeah, of course, you look at the long-term view of it and the most recent history as well. Giannis has missed a handful of games with what the team is called Achilles soreness, and I'm not positive if that's the same leg, although I imagine it would be. The official term right now is a strained soleus, and your calf is broken up into two or three muscle groups, one on each side. Uh, Obviously, the immediate grouping that everyone wants to point to in the most immediate instance of this is obviously Kevin Durant going down with what was first a calf strain, ultimately tears his Achilles when he's with the Golden State Warriors. I don't know that that's a direct correlation here. I think that everyone wants to jump to that and say that's the concern. Obviously, any injury to the lower body that's non-contact is a concern. Now, I've strained my soles myself. It is a not fun process to return to from because you just don't have the same explosiveness. And any form of Giannis in the postseason that is not fully explosive puts the Bucks at a major disadvantage just because of how this team is built. They have gone all in Siege on a Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo power duo with Chris Middleton adding into that. If any of that is compromised in the Eastern Conference that everybody is so tightly compacted, and some of those matchups, you could see like a Philadelphia 76ers in the opening round. You could see a New York Knicks if they fall. There's a potential for Pacers. None of those matchups are great if Giannis is healthy, considering where this team has been playing. It's even worse if he's not out there.
Yeah, there's this little thing, Marsh. It's called Dame time, and it comes when it comes. And I don't know. I think you add Damian Lillard to the mix. We saw the Bucks a couple of years ago win a playoff series or two without Giannis, or without him playing most of the series. Chris Middleton shows up when he needs to. Hopefully, Chris Middleton's also healthy. But there's a little thing called Dame time, and I think when that time comes, we'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about the 76ers against the Bucks. Joel Embiid will also fall apart to what he does. And don't get me started on the Celtics. I don't think they're for real. But I'll
I,
digress.
I don't know that I necessarily. I actually think secretly this injury from Embiid was maybe the best thing that could have happened to him, just to make him healthy for
That's
the post.
fair.
Because you're right, otherwise he does typically fall apart this time of the
That's fair.
season. What is not falling apart are the Golden State Warriors, baby. Big win last night, 26 threes to go for a big road win over the Lakers. They pull within a half game of the 9 spot. The door is open for the Warriors to potentially slide to the 8. But this was a game in which Anthony Davis didn't play for the Lakers, and that had a huge implication on why the Warriors were able to get that win last night. I'll ask you this, Siege. Do you want to see the Lakers and the Warriors as the 9-10 play-in matchup again?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, I think that's electric. I think it's electric to see LeBron James and Steph Curry compete to get to play in the playoffs. Both of them are not done with their career. They want to add more and more to their legacy. They want a chance to make a deep playoff run. The idea of a single elimination game to decide which one of them even gets a chance to do so, to me, that's exciting. Um, yeah, yeah, that's exciting, flat out. Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of implications of what we could get as I confirm that the Clippers comeback or the Suns comeback fell short. There's a chance that we could get in the first round a Clippers versus, excuse me, I apologize, a Suns versus Warriors or a Suns versus Lakers first round game. And then the second game would be potentially loser of that getting either the Lakers or the Warriors. Unlikely the Suns fall that far back. Add in the fact that you've got a Kings matchup in there. The play-in continues to be one of the greatest investments and inventions that modern SWBA has introduced. I find it comedic that when it first came out that LeBron said whoever came up with it should be fired, considering the fact he has used the play-in to actually get into the play-in or the playoffs, I think 3 years in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Lakers have been in it 3 straight seasons, needing it last year as a 7 seed, year before that as well. It's been a great move for them to get there. We are going to move on, though, to the Diamond, where the Twins get a tough loss to the Dodgers. The Dodgers siege have been phenomenal, but the big news is the call-up of the top prospect in the ranks for one Baltimore Orioles. That's Jackson Holliday. The Orioles are chasing down the Yankees right now in the American League East. Any chance you think that the Orioles can repeat the thunder that they had from a year ago, or is this the Yankees division to win regardless of what happens with Jackson Holliday?
I think the Orioles got a chance. There's a great thing called momentum. You get that train rolling, it's hard to stop it. It starts coming out of the station high speed. They can get something going, and maybe Jackson Holliday's kind of the guy who's going to get that going for them. Yeah, they got a chance. Why not? Why not? Why not?
I mean, bold to go momentum 10 games into an 82-game season, or excuse me, 162-game season. But, I think this is a positive sign. What we've seen recently in baseball is just how quickly a lot of these top prospects have come through the ranks. You look at the Rangers bringing up their top overall pick. A year ago, the Diamondbacks relying on theirs. It is impressive that the game is moving at the pace that it is to be able to get to where they are currently, where it's just prospects are going from college straight up the ranks into the SWLB. Typically, that would have been a 2 to 3 year process. Meanwhile, though, the Dodgers get that 6-3 win with Tyler Glass now tying his record for 6 Ks. The Dodgers are legit, and Shohei Ohtani continues to be phenomenal, Siege.
Absolutely, that's what he does. You can bet on that guy any day of the week. Phenomenal player. I mean, he's. I've never been a huge SWLB guy. I follow it lightly. That's a name I've known for a long time. He is, from what I know, he's the peak of baseball performance. He's the peak of baseball performance.
Modern day Babe Ruth.
Sure. I would say he's probably way better than Babe Ruth, with athletic developments and stuff. And I'm not a betting man, but if I was, it would be on him.
The slander on Babe Ruth's name within SimWorld is unacceptable.
Babe Ruth. He's the mascot for the Birmingham AA team. Babe Ruth. He's a dog.
Well, there you have it. We are going to move on where we're going to bring in head coach Brad Lee for Southeast Select. Coach gets a huge win last night, Southeast Select, with a comeback, I guess you could call it, maybe a hang around and then pull away late win over Philadelphia Elite, their 4th straight. They just beat Lakeshore Drive in the last one. It is one of the toughest stretches. Coach, welcome in and congrats on the win last night.
Yeah, good morning, fella. Yeah, thanks for the congratulations. It was a great game last night.
Well, Coach, you guys have been playing phenomenal, and Siege has been a huge proponent and fan of yours. I know we'll let him ask his big fan questions, but you guys have just been playing a different brand of basketball. 6 wins in the last 7 games. Again, you beat Lakeshore Drive, you beat Philadelphia Elite. You got a chance to go and get a win over BCDs. An incredible stretch. What has changed for this group here in the second half of the season?
Just consistency and just believing. Believing in what we carried in from the off season, what we carry every year. To be honest, just know that you don't end where you start. Things don't always start the best, especially when you're bringing a new group of guys together. And we lost Big O early in the season, and that was a big blow. So that was a couple points off that we had to find somewhere, and thank God we had it already.
No, Coach, look, I've been very publicly a big believer in Southeast Select. I picked you guys to be one of the last 4 teams remaining in the race to one. In the last 2 seasons, the race to one, the postseason was easy for you guys. What do you have to say to the people out there who kind of wrote this team off after the departure of Trey Turner, maybe got themselves reinvested with Big O when he came in, was dropping 20 a game, looked like that guy. And then he went down, and people just kept kind of questioning and acting like Southeast Select was a one-man show. What do you kind of have to say for those people out there?
My thing been looking at is the last previous couple seasons. Because although we do have a face on the team and the plan, we play as a unit. Like any guy liable to be that guy that night. We don't go in the game saying you the guy that night. He just picks his spot. He know what it is. Like Gabe is definitely the face of the program right now. But man, the best thing about this guy is the same thing that Trey was. They are leaders that don't mind leading, whether it's backing another guy who's standing up, and that leads into the rest of the players in the program.
Coach, Dexter Jackson has been a revelation over the last 2 months now, 3 months almost, since the beginning of February. He's come on strong. He's become an efficient, high-volume scorer. We could talk about Gabe Pope, and he's had a phenomenal season, but it seems to me that the turning point for this team has been the arrival of Dexter Jackson. What has his play been like, and is this something that you guys expected to see early in the season, or has this been kind of a revelation for you as well?
When we recruited him, I didn't think it'd come so early, and I'm thankful that it did. Like, I was expecting to just wing him in. I was expecting to wing him in and get him, acclimated to what expectations we had for him, but he came full throttle. I definitely can't sit here and say I expected this consistency from him, and he brought everything he said he was bringing.
Siege, one last question for Coach.
Coach, what do
Yes, sir.
you say? Can you back my statement that Southeast Select, one of the last 4 teams remaining in the race to one? Can you go ahead and back that for me?
We're gonna let the play do that.
All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I actually like that. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck tonight in the game of the week in Virginia. You guys have been a joy to watch. You've done a phenomenal job, obviously, this season, the last 2. Best of luck this season. Best of luck in the race to one. Look forward to seeing you then.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that is Coach Bradley. Again, that is our game of the week tonight, 7 p.m. on SimWorld TV. That is Beasts of the East playing host to Southeast Select. Make sure you're tuning in for that one. We head to our wrap-up. 6 games in SimWorld action last night. We'll start with our noon game where the Indy Stripes take down South America, a 19-point win thanks to 26 points from Andrew Gibson, 404 from deep in the win.
Next, we'll move to Southeast Select taking on Philadelphia. Just talked to Coach Lee. This game was controlled by Philadelphia most of the way, holding a lead most of it in the second half. Southeast Select, Dexter Jackson and Keandre Baldridge led this team to kind of come back, take over, and take the win.
Double-doubles from Josiah Cook and Tyshawn Easom, plus 19 from Trey Willis, and a 74-49 shellacking by the Yacht Club over Lone Star in Miami.
Don't look now, but Queen City Kings got a big win over Atlantis last night. They've moved to 10-13 on the season, slowly making their way back close to 500. Toss Journey led Queen City Kings in scoring last night with 16.
28, 8, and 6, not enough from Japhet Towns as Best Coast ballers get big nights from three players, and they take down the reigning Trays by 10 at home.
Beyond the Arch gives a whooping to SimWorld Middle East in their final season. 79-57 last night. DeMarcus Owens, 16-11 double-double. Nick Bowie stuffs the stat sheet with 16-5, 7, 1, and 1.
And that's our action from last night. Another big night coming up tonight, of course. We mentioned it before. Southeast Select Beast of the East, 7 p.m. Game of the week. That followed up by AT Aliens in Middle East at 8, and Heartland Zombie Stars and SimWorld Atlantis at 9 in our SimWorld TV triple header. And, of course, Africa and Showtime going to work, ESPN 2 at 12 o'clock. That is our show. Thank you all for tuning in. For my partner, Siege, I am Marsh. This has been SimWorld Today. We will catch you tomorrow morning, recapping all the action once again throughout sports and in SimWorld Prep. Thanks for tuning in, where this is the only place you can see the game, be the game.